The last area that we're going to look at here in part 1 of CV writing is creating a dynamic employment history and using the language and the style of language that you need to do this. The number one thing you need to remember with this is to show, don't just tell. What you need to do is show the results and the contributions that you have and how that will make the organization that you're applying to a better organization. And for this, you need to use examples, and your examples should have some sort of metric measurability to them. For example, exceeded monthly sales targets by an average of 40% in 2013. Here we clearly see the measurable amount, 40%, which is showing the result and the actual contribution of how successful they were. Keep in mind, every time you use an adjective to describe yourself, try to give evidence to support that. For example, if you use an adjective like creative or innovative, how can you support that? Well, you might not be able to support it with numbers, but there are other ways to show it. For example, built creative team relationships to stimulate innovative product developments in challenging market environments. Achieved Keeler Prize, top design industry award for each of the last 3 years. So clearly you need to tell your recruiters about the results, about your achievements, whatever measurable indications that you can give, whether it's a number or an award, to show that you have made a difference, a contribution that your new employer will want to hire you for. Let's look at another example with some specific accomplishments. Version number 1. From 2008 to the present, the Director Sales Manager in Retail Sales. This person says that they are responsible for increasing sales to retail outlets. They manage and motivate sales staff, carry out all associated administrative work, and organize company events and programs. Compare this with the next version. Finished in the top quarter for sales each year. Turned around a district ranked last in sales, generated to first. Winner of 5 sales management awards for excellence. Increased program attendance at company events by 75%. Hired, trained, evaluated, and improved sales performance of team of 10 employees. You decide which one do you think is better. Of course, the second one. Why? Because we can see the results, we can see the success, we can see the achievement, and that's what you need to put into your employment history entries. So here in CV writing part 1, we have looked at what type of CV to choose, how to structure it, and the type of information to include, and the language and style to use in order to give your potential employer a bit of interest and to keep them wanting more, to know more about you, to get you to the next stage, to the interview.
Hi, my name is Sandra Handler, and in this video we're going to look at 2 phrasal verbs, break in and break out. So the first thing you have to remember is that even though the prepositions are opposites, the phrasal verbs aren't necessarily opposites, but here we have one coincidence. So one of the meanings of break in is to enter a place illegally using force. So for example, you have a house and a burglar comes and wants to steal your television. So he forces the door or he breaks the window, and that's how he gets into your house. So he broke into your house through the window and stole your television. So in this case, there is kind of an opposite, and that means to exit somewhere by using force also. So criminals sometimes break out of jail. In that case, they would be opposites. But going back to break in, we have a couple of different meanings. So you're going to go do the St. James Trail, and you're going to be walking for many days Don't break in your shoes at the trail, break them in before. That means to wear your shoes and to make them softer or to loosen them by using them for a while before the activity in question. All right. Another meaning of break in is to interrupt a conversation. So, two people are talking about something and you want to give some information urgently. So you say, well, I'm going to break in. I know you didn't ask me, but I have to tell you this. So you can break into the conversation as well. Break out also has a couple of different meanings. Imagine you touch you're in the forest and you're exploring and you see a beautiful green plant and you touch it and suddenly your arm starts turning red and you get a lot of bumps. Well, you just broke out. That means that you get a rash or some sort of skin condition that's usually red and puffy. Okay? Break out can also be used when something happens suddenly and with a lot of force. So you could say, you were at a bar and everybody was happy and talking and drinking and suddenly a fight broke out. Nobody expected it. It's something that happens suddenly. Okay, so, don't break out in hives, which means don't get all nervous and splotchy thinking of all the different meanings of break in and break out. Just put them into use. So get out there and practice your phrasal verbs.
Hi, this is Gary Toomey. In this video, we are continuing our series of confusing structures and meanings when we translate from Spanish into English. What would you say if I told you that 1 dozen is the same than 12? You would probably agree, wouldn't you? Okay, in Spanish, you would say una decena es lo mismo que 12, right? Perfect. However, in English, we do not say the same than. We say the same as. So the correct version would be 1 dozen is the same as 12. Be careful not to make this mistake when you translate from Spanish into English.